I love lemon anything, especially when you're craving warmer weather and sunshine and spring. I love to just go to the grocery store, get a big bag or two of lemons and put them on a bowl in my kitchen or my dining room table. They just are so fresh, and then use those lemons to make different recipes like this easy, breezy lemon snack cake. It's one of those recipes where you probably have everything in your house to make it right now if you've got lemons. So throw on an apron and let's get baking, because this recipe is a piece of cake. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some sugar, and you can get the full recipe on the website. This is just regular granulated sugar. And I love pumping up the lemon flavor in recipes by using the zest. If you're going to be juicing fresh lemon anyway, which we're going to do that for this recipe, I've already gone ahead and juiced some lemons. You've got the zest right there, so why not use it? So this is one of my favorite gadgets. It's a microplane, and it's a great way to zest. And you want to do the zest of about 3 lemons. So really pump up the flavor, and you don't want to get too far into the lemon. You don't really want the white part. So just do the outside of the lemon, and you'll be amazed how much using the lemon zest really pumps up the lemon flavor in your recipe. So, you know, whether it be even just making tartar sauce and you want to put some extra lemon flavor in that, lemon muffins, lemon bread. If you're doing seafood recipes and the recipe calls for lemon juice, why not add some of the zest too? So at home, you'll take the time to zest these a little bit more than I am, but basically you want the zest of about 3, depending on the size of your lemons. These are pretty big guys, so 3 to 4 lemons. And notice I'm mixing that with the sugar. The lemon zest has a lot of oil in it, natural oils, and then when you mix that with the sugar, it's really gonna give that sugar a nice lemon sugar flavor. And if I'm having a lemon cake, I really want it to, you know, pack a punch of lemon in here, and this will. All right, so now we're going to add our oil, vegetable or canola oil. Mix that together. Then I've got 2 egg yolks and 1 whole egg. And I've got some sour cream. Sour cream is going to keep this really nice and moist. What I love about this cake, like I said, is that you've probably got everything to make it right now in your house. And, you know, sometimes you just wake up and you feel like baking, you feel like you just don't want to leave the house. And it's fun to keep, you know, a stocked pantry so that you can stay in your jammies and bake up some memories. All right, so it's best to kind of add the eggs a hand or an egg at a time. These are, again, 2 egg yolks and 1 whole egg. Noticed I was very good, and I cracked them beforehand so that I didn't get any shell in there. And I'm just gonna use a mixer just to really beat those eggs. This is one of those cake recipes, though, that you don't even have to pull out the mixer unless you want to. It'll just make it go a little bit more quick, but it's such a beautiful color. And then we're gonna add the freshly squeezed lemon juice. Such a beautiful color. A light lemony yellow, and it smells so good when it's baking. Okay, for the dry ingredients. Now here's the one thing that's a little bit different about this recipe. I'm using 2 cups of cake flour. And total confession, cake flour wasn't one of those things I normally kept on hand. I usually just, you know, have all-purpose flour. But now that we're doing so much baking, I've kind of taken a closet that I didn't use very much in my house and made that more of my baking pantry. So I got really organized, and I ordered, you know, sealable containers, and I've got all different types of flours and sugars, and it's all right there. My regular pantry was just busting at the seams, so I needed to create some space. Now, could you use all-purpose flour for this recipe? Absolutely. But the cake flour is just going to make it a nice, it's going to be a little bit lighter. And it's just a little bit more of a fine flour. Then we're going to add baking soda, baking powder, and salt. And I'm telling you, if it's one of those things where you haven't used your baking soda or your baking powder in ages, it's really probably best, because it loses its punch and it won't rise the same if your baking soda and baking powder aren't real fresh. So good idea to maybe pitch it and get some new stuff, because you don't want to go through the whole trouble of this cake and realize that your baking powder or your baking soda is just a little past due and it's not going to give it the rise. So now I'm going to add the dry to the wet. I find that's the easiest way to do it. And gently mix this together. Again, you can certainly do this by hand. Not a real hard batter to mix up. We're not making a bread here, we're making a cake, so you want to make sure that all of the dry ingredients get mixed in here. I'm going to use a little bit of a spatula to scrape the bowl and get it down in there. I've got my oven preheated to 350 degrees. This makes an 8x8 size. You could certainly double the recipe and do it in a 9x13. So up to you. This makes kind of just that nice snacking cake size. There's just 2 of us at home, so I don't want a whole 9x13. I don't need that. So that's why I kind of love this recipe, is that not only do you have everything to make it, it's fresh, it's lemony, it's got lots of lemon flavor, but it makes the perfect size, like snacking cake. Real important to grease, or we love, this was like one of the best things ever invented, the baking spray, which flours and greases your pan. This is an 8x8, in goes, and this is a quick bake. It's a real light, lemony, spongy cake. So it's not, don't think like a lemon bread where it's dense. So this is done in like 20 minutes. Oh. I'm just, all the freshness of the lemon in here has me pretty excited. So pop this into the oven, 350 degrees. And again, do the old check at about 17 minutes. The old toothpick check. Here's what it looks like when it comes out. It's really pretty. You want the edges around to be a little bit brown, and it's just, ooh, like I said, I think this will be a hit. Now it's going to be great as is. You could dust the top with some powdered sugar, but if you've got some powdered sugar anyway and some extra lemon, why not do a little bit of a glaze? So just some more of some fresh lemon juice, freshly squeezed. I'm normally not a huge fan of extracts. I really like the natural, fresh lemon juice, but lemon extract is actually one of the extracts that I'm fond of. So if you wanted to pump up the flavor and you really like some lemon, you could add a little bit of lemon extract to the cake or the glaze. That would keep you from squeezing so many. And I don't want a real thick glaze, but I do want it, to be able to know it's a glaze. So I just alternate fresh lemon juice and the powdered sugar until you get the right consistency. And I think we're just about there. We're not making a frosting, we're making a glaze. Of course, the thicker, more powdered sugar you pour in, the thicker it's going to be. You could also just cut the pieces and put some of the glaze on top after you've already sliced the cake. But definitely make sure and let the cake cool though before you glaze it. And as it sits, the glaze should firm up just a little bit. And we'll cut into that in just a few. Yummy. Garnish with some fresh lemon just for decoration, but you don't have to. I don't know about you, but that with a cup of coffee and I am one happy camper.